Hey, what's up guys? Welcome down to the bench. Today we got a wicked cool project. It's all about Star Wars. Leo!
It's time to meet me in the game room.
It's a very yellow stormtrooper and speeder bike trooper whose arms are starting to get a little yellow and his legs. The body hasn't yet. That's kind of funny, but anyway, these are my original toys. I've had this stormtrooper forever. He's been yellow for as long as I can remember. And that's how he's been. And we're gonna fix him. Also, I've got my Princess Leia, my Luke Skywalker, who's been out in the sun. Out? Did I just say out like Canadians? Canadians?
Oh, Canada, our home and native land.
Anyway, there's my Luke Skywalker. He's been out in the sun way too much, so that's bad. And my original Han Solo with the fat head. And I know these are my original toys because look at, I drilled a hole in Han Solo's back so I could put a jetpack on him when I was a kid. We'll see if we can fix that sometime. Not today, but all these toys, I'm going to see if we can bring these back to the original white color and make them look really nice. I'm not going to fix the paint or touch any of that up. And some of these have the original grime on them from when I was a little kid. There's original dirt. Whatever, that's all going to stay. I just want to bring back the white of the plastic. So, there are a lot of ways to whiten. And we're trying out a new one here today. And this should be super simple because it's a bright sunny day out here. It's early in the morning. And we're getting going here early. And hopefully this one works. I have a spaceship. I have a paper plate that I've covered with aluminum foil. Okay? I have a bag. What I'm going to do, put these figures in this bag. I'm going to fill it up with hydrogen peroxide. I'm going to take all the air out of this bag. And I'm going to put it on this plate. I'm going to leave it out in the sun. Hopefully by this afternoon these guys are all going to look great and like they did when they first came out of their packages. And that would be so cool because these guys look horrible. And we like to display our stuff here, so we have a nice Star Wars setup, which I haven't shown you yet, but I will. And these guys are part of that, and they don't want to be part of that yellow. And we don't want to have them in the display all yellow. So let's see if we can fix this. So come on onto the deck, we'll set this up.
Can you see the picture?
Yep.
You want a down view or?
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
Whatever. Alright, so here's the bag of action figures. Looking more yellow because they're in the sun. And our plate. So, I'm going to take some of this peroxide. This is 3%. We'll see if it works. I thought I had it.
No, if you were doing this at home, you'd be wearing gloves to protect your hands.
Yeah, I'm going to go right in and wash my
peroxide on.
hands because the peroxide's not that good. Alright, good enough, right? Okay, there they are. They're in the sun. It is, what time is it? It's 9 a.m. We're going to check these again, probably noontime or so, and see what they look like, and then
Super yellow.
hopefully this afternoon they'll be looking like new again. Alright, it's noontime, and what I'm noticing is this bag is now full of air bubbles. It's made a big pocket. Luke looks a little better. Stormtrooper looks a little better. I'm going to try something different here. Alright, here's my new plan. I got a mason jar. I'm gonna dump that peroxide and the figures in here. Maybe some more peroxide. And put it back in the sun. Let's see what that does. Okay, there's the jar with the Star Wars guys in it. And you can see Luke right there and that stormtrooper, and they're looking better. It's now 3 o'clock. Everything out here has been in the juice for about 6 hours. 3 hours in the bag and 3 hours here in the jar. And it's still nice and sunny out, so I'm gonna let these things soak for as long as it's sunny. So we'll check back in a little while. Ah! Oh wait, we moved it. So yeah, at about 3 o'clock or so in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun was really coming around the other side of the house, so I moved the experiment out to the tailgate of my truck in the driveway, where it's gotten sun till just about now, which is 7 o'clock. So these have been in the sun for about 11 hours, about 10 hours today. And that's what we got. Things look pretty good. Really crazy. Alright, I'm going to take this in the house, open these up, I'll meet you down at the bench. Whew, that's been a long day. But, let me tell you, results are incredible. So there was 3% hydrogen peroxide. I put it in a plastic Ziploc bag for 3 hours until the bag got too much air in it, when I moved it over to a glass mason jar. And they spent the next 7 hours in the mason jar, in the sun the whole time. So there is Han Solo. His arms were pretty yellowed, and they look pretty good. He's still got his hole in his back for his jetpack. We'll fix that someday in the future. This is a good one. Look at that, Princess Leia. All those stains that were down the front of her, all the yellow spots, all gone. Arms cleaned up nice. She didn't clean up, that was just all the sun and the peroxide. Awesome. Is a no-brainer. The speeder bike trooper looks great and flawless. That one came out perfect, absolutely perfect. It was barely yellowed anyway, only a little bit on the boots and the arms. Okay, this is the one. Look at that stormtrooper. Not perfect, but I'm gonna say 95%. Considering he has been a bright yellow stormtrooper for 30 years, he looks pretty good again. Really cool. I know I could soak it again, but I spent a long time in there today, so maybe sometime in the future we'll send him in again, but for now, he's looking great. And this one, look at this. Look at Luke Skywalker. Remember how burnt and brown and dark his shoulders were? So they're not perfect, but it looks really good. And that's so much better for display. And like I say, these are my originals, so they look a lot like they did when I had them as a kid. So very cool. That's the lineup. That's the toughies right there, and they really came out good. So that was this experiment of retrobrighting and whitening. And I would say that letting the sun do its work to bring these guys back really does work, and so far that was the easiest way of doing the Retrobrite. So anyway, that's all for this episode of Meet Me in the Game Room. Thank you guys for liking, thank you guys for subscribing and watching the videos, and hope you can check out the next one. Game on, peeps.
There's a Canadian football game tomorrow. The Ottawa Rough Riders against the Vancouver Rough Riders.
Hey guys, this is the next day from the Star Wars figure whitening experiment that went rather well. And this is a second experiment I want to try here with a couple of NES controller shells. These are both very yellowed and dirty and scuzzy and look pretty gross. So one thing I've been wondering about the whitening process is, can you use your peroxide a second time? So in our jar here with R on the top is the peroxide we used yesterday for the action figures, and we're going to go with some fresh stuff here on the right, and we're going to put one of these in each, and we're going to go through the whole day of sun and see what happens. So just for you guys, so yeah, R stands for used. But yeah, we're just gonna throw these things in here. So that one is gonna get some fresh peroxide, and if all this works, then I'm gonna save this peroxide and use it again and again. I just don't know if you can do that yet or not, but we'll find out. Okay, these are, I think they're gonna float because they're gonna bubble up. So I'm gonna just top this one off with a little, because we want to keep these as wet as possible and totally submerged if we can. So there they are. The one on the left is the used peroxide with a little touch of the new, and the one on the right is all the new peroxide. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning right now. We're gonna let these sit out here. I think at about 4 o'clock we'll lose the sun. We might have to move over to the back of my truck again, but we'll check them out then and see what's going on. So we'll see you in a while. Alright, so they've been here most of the day. It's just about 6 o'clock and dinner's almost ready, so I want to finish this project. And you see, it's still bubbling away in there, and that's cool. But let's see now. That looks a lot whiter than the yellow that it was. And let's see, this is the used peroxide, using it a second time, and yeah, that looks pretty un-yellow too. So I think you can go ahead and use your peroxide over and over again. At least I'm going to try it. If stuff doesn't bubble next time, we'll say that that's why. But I think this was a success, and the figures came out great, and these controllers are going to look good too. Anyway, that's all for this episode. See you soon.